Siomra Beag.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sure Look, Sure Listen, the podcast that takes a pop at culture.
Sure look, sure listen. Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen.
Sure look, sure listen. Oh, very good, Benjamin. Look, it's me, Michael Fassbender from Kerry. But sure, look, we don't have time to dig into whether it's really me, Michael Fassbender from Kerry, because we've loads of things to look at this week there, to be sure. We've The Killer, Ben, the Killer teaser trailer from Netflix with me, Michael Fassbender, and the Book of Clarence trailer with our favourite, the Keith Stanfield. And mere moments ago, Marvel graced us with a teaser for Loki Season 2, which is out in about 3 days. And you, of all people, you Benjamin Colopy, have seen Last Voyage of the Demeter, which I think is a spoiler.
Yeah, I think they kind of gave it away. Sure, listen, Michael, if we didn't have enough spoilers, we're about to unpack every single possible influence you could find in the trailer that we got last week for Rebel Moon Part 1 Child of Fire from Zack Snyder. And he's only gone and copied everything, Michael.
Benjamin, we've already had a little look at this, but even last week when we were having a little look at it, we said to ourselves, he's just done science fiction's greatest hits of the past 25 years. So why don't we do a podcast about science fiction's greatest hits of the last 25 years, but through the eye lens of one Zack and Snyder?
Yep, that's what we went for, Michael. Listen, come here to me. We could have done a whole podcast in itself away from this called Unpacking the Psyche of Zack Snyder. And you'd get reams of episodes out of this, Michael.
Absolute bloody reams of it. Have you ever seen Sucker Punch, Ben?
It just stick it on in there again. I'll make this movie again, but this time I'll do it with Sofia Boutella.
Sofia Boutella and some male characters who aren't gross.
Who aren't grossly exploited. I mean, embracing their femininity.
Benjamin. Speaking of embracing your inner femininity, what did you think of the trailer for my Michael Fassbender me's new film? I'm playing the character Michael Fassbender this week. Is that obvious?
Yeah, no, I've picked up on that, a little bit.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not changing my voice or my accent or my inflections. I'm just playing the character Michael Fassbender, but as though he were me.
What a bit. What a sensational artistic endeavour.
Is that clear what I'm doing?
Well, it is now that you've explained it explicitly, yes.
Yeah. I'm just calling myself Michael Fassbender and acting as though I am the actor Michael Fassbender. But that's it. That's the entirety of the joke.
Very good. I'm glad to say that the three people who listen to us normally have now tuned out, so we can enjoy ourselves on this episode, Michael, and talk about whatever we want.
Just talk about whatever we want.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got a teaser trailer this week for The Killer from David Fincher, starring Michael Fassbender, or Fashti, to the folks of the island here down this end. Michael, this is awful schlick looking, isn't it?
Very schlick, Ben. There's all sorts of repetitive things in it, which are repetitive but not boring.
Yeah, look, Michael, this looks a bit like Copperface Jacks in the 90s. Cool. I was half expecting, with all the flashing lights and techno music in the background, for Sandstorm by Derude to pop on at some point, and for Michael Fassbender to be there with a pack of glow sticks and cheap pints, just swinging it.
Shifting a nurse. Ben,
shifting a nurse.
What is this? What is it? You tell me and the listeners by extension. Me, Michael, the actor Michael Fassbender, and the listeners by extension, tell us what this film is, even though I know because I was obviously in it.
Well, Michael, David Fincher generally doesn't make original works. He's not a fan. So he'll find an edgy kind of source material in the form of a novel, usually, from the 90s, Michael. He likes the 90s.
Fight Club, Ben.
Fight Club being the most famous example of that, Michael. Sometimes he'll go all the way back to the 1890s, Michael, and we'll get Benjamin Button, but it's still the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And that's based on a famous short story, Michael. And this one is no different, Michael. This is based on a famous comic book, a bande dessinée.
Is it one of the European comic books? One of the ones in the big hardcovers?
One of the big French comic books, Michael, that became very, very popular. It was first published in 1998 by the writer Matz. M-A-T-Z. That's all we get.
Oh, those Europeans.
And it was those Europeans. Who needs a second name, a family name? I know where I'm from. I'm from the future, said Europe. And then Luc Jacquemont is the artist for this particular one. And it's a very edgy little series of comics, Michael, all about, as you may have guessed, a killer.
Oh, what's he doing? Is he killing people, for example?
He's killing people on a contract basis.
Benjamin,
Basis, Michael. Yes.
It doesn't seem, though, that this is about the killing. It seems that this might be about the repercussions of that killing on his psyche.
Yes, Michael. So the kind of famous hook of the killer, or the bande dessinée version of this, is that he's a philosophical killer. He's a man wallowing in philosophy as a result of the strenuous pressure put on him by the rigours of his job, murdering people.
Yeah, he's not like Crumbopulous Michael.
Yes, he's not like Crumbopulous Michael, man. A man so filled with the jovial joie de vivre of Mort that he just goes around killing people and proclaims it loudly.
Yeah, he's the opposite. This guy's the opposite.
This guy's like, keep your head down, kill everybody, don't enjoy it for a second, go listen to some tasty techno licks and call it a day.
Fabulous acting from Kerry local Michael Fassbender in Ben, some of the repetitions of the phrase that he keeps repeating where his voice starts cracking a little bit.
Michael, the man has range. Let's be honest. Fashti, say what you will about him. Say that he turned his back on Kerry. Say it if you want. But
you can if you want, but he'll fucking find you.
He'll find you and he'll challenge you to an 85-pint drinking competition at the end of which you will pass out in a shebeen somewhere. I'm not even sure what a shebeen is, but I tell you who does know, Michael Fassbender. Come here to me. You're absolutely right, Michael. There's some phenomenal voice acting going on, even in the subtle inflections and cracks that he puts into those. This is a very stylized teaser trailer, and I have to say I was very taken by it. I think it looks like a fun movie. We've seen this kind of thing all over the place, Michael, including, but not limited to, Leon and The Professional. You know, that's the vibe I'm getting.
Ben, I've seen more films about killers with a heart of gold than I've seen not about killers with a heart of gold.
I'm not certain he does have a heart of gold, Michael. He might not. He might just be a man kind of crumbling under the pressure of his job. The one I think it probably most closely aligns to in recent cinema history, Michael, is Drive for me. I think it's got a real touch of the Big Daddy Goz and Drive.
And John Wick.
You see, even then, I don't think it's going to be as sexy, combat-y, karate choppy as John Wick.
You don't think this is a universe where everyone's assassins?
No, I think Michael Fassbender might be one of 3 assassins.
Just only 3 or 4.
Just 3 or 4 for the whole world.
Oh, great.
That's why he's so stressed, Michael. It's just 3 of them.
You would be.
Doing all the assassinating.
The rates would be through the roof for assassinations.
He's making lots of money, Michael, but he's got no time to spend it. What's he going to spend it on?
Bloody hell.
He's too busy killing people. There he goes, killing people
popular. Again. Benjamin.
Yeah.
What is this Book of Clarence all about?
Michael, this is a bizarre one. So it stars our good friend, the Keith Stanfield from France.
As they say in France, Le Keith Stanfield.
Le Keith Stanfield. Look, it's a weird one. It's a reimagining of the story of Jesus Christ. It's about a guy called Clarence. And Clarence is played by Lakeith Stanfield, and he's a down-on-his-luck guy, and he's living in Jerusalem in 29 AD, and he sees basically the kind of boom in popularity that is Jesus Christ, and he's like, I want to do that. I'll try and do the same thing. So he kind of becomes a messiah, Michael. He decides to, try his hand at being a messiah, and it's a bit, I suppose, like influencer wars in Bible times.
Yeah, a little bit. But I'll tell you what, though, Ben, he's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
He's a very naughty boy, Michael, and the Romans have taken notice, and the Romans come to us in the form of noted non-Roman James McAvoy.
Oh, I thought he was actually Roman. Is he not Roman?
He's not Roman. No, he's Scottish.
Oh, he's from Scotland, of course. Up there with, what's his name? That fella from Northern Ireland from last week.
Scotland.
Oh, Scotland, yeah. What did I say?
I don't know. I don't know. Northern Ireland? I don't know.
Yeah.
Scotland.
Very good.
Michael, he comes from Scotland, and he is not Scottish in this. He's playing what looks to be a Pontius Pilate style character, and this is, as you might have guessed, Michael, an all-black reimagining of biblical origin stories. Ben. Yes.
I did not know James McAvoy was black.
He's not. He's actually hoist by my own petard. So we only see James McAvoy in the trailer. He's not black, and thankfully not doing blackface, Michael, because that would be very awkward.
I would have loved if this was how we found out that James McAvoy has actually been doing whiteface for most of his career.
I really hope that's not the case.
That would be fabulous. That would be such a surprise.
That would be terrible. But the other person who's in it of massive note, Michael, and who's becoming quite popular is Omar Sy. He plays the kind of sidekick character that we see there in the trailer. And then Benedict Cumberbatch, not in the trailer, but in the movie, apparently.
Who's he going to be? Jesus.
I think, he's probably going to be the Pontius Pilate. I think James McAvoy is probably the enforcer. And then old Benedict. Or he could be God, but that'd be very awkward.
Ben, who's doing this?
So this is produced by Jay-Z. That's the kind of the big one. And then it's being produced by, it was written and it's being directed by a man called Jemma Samuel, or as he's known by his stage name, Michael, The Bullets. He's a British singer-songwriter from the UK. And he's kind of written a lot of things like that. He has done quite a few films, including The Harder They Fall, which was the all-black western that we had on Netflix about 2 years ago.
Oh, who was in that?
With a lot of the same cast, Michael. There was Lakeith Stanfield.
Oh, yeah.
There was Omar Sy.
Oh, yeah.
There was Regina King.
That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah. There was noted person of the year, bloody... Who is he?
James McAvoy.
No, not James McAvoy. No, he's bloody... It's
Michael
gone
Fassbender.
The whole joke's gone now, Michael. It's wasted.
Ruined the whole joke.
Who's the fella that's been cancelled, but he was doing great? And we're going to talk about him now because we got a Loki Season 2 teaser trailer. What's his name?
Oh my God, I've forgotten his name. Jonathan Majors.
What's his name?
Jonathan Majors. Ben.
Jonathan Majors was in it, Michael. And it was a very popular kind of... Oh, and our good friend...
Yes?
Who I've also forgotten.
This is great podcasting, Ben. Who is it? You just tell me and I'll guess.
It's the woman who played Domino in the
Zazie Beetz.
Zazie Beetz. She was in it as well, Michael. And they were all black cowboys doing black cowboy things. The Bullets is kind of producing these types of things as he goes. He clearly got a notion for this, got the gang back together. The Bullets himself has been famous for producing and making lots and lots of really cool British R&B and rap stuff.
Very good, Ben. Speaking of British R&B,
yeah,
I is ready to talk about Loki Season 2.
That makes me uncomfortable. That sounds like audio blackface. I don't like that. Oh no.
Audio blackface.
Oh no.
That's brilliant. Oh, that's very good, Ben. I like that.
Yeah, I don't like blackface, ladies and gentlemen.
Then I was in the streets.
Oh God! All right, come here to me. We got a trailer mere minutes before recording this, Michael, for Loki Season 2, and all I can say is they heard our previous comments about it being Doctor Who in Season 1 and went, "Oh yeah, we should ramp that up," because there's a whole mini sequence in this, Michael, where they're traveling through a tunnel, and it looks exactly like what the TARDIS goes through whenever it time travels. It's pretty silly.
Ben, they seem to be giving us in Season 2 what they pretended we were going to get in Season 1.
Which is?
Loki through time.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going to get a lot of Loki through time this time. Oh, he might be in the 20s. Oh, what's this? The Roman times. Oh, look. Oh. There's noted Frenchman, the Keith Stanfield.
Keith Stanfield's there. And James McAvoy.
That's very strange. But come here to me. Yeah. Look, we didn't get anything new in this teaser trailer, Michael. I don't think. We got a few extra glimpses that all the good guys are coming together. They're going to have a little scrap together. We kind of guessed that, didn't we?
Yeah, they have to.
We got more Nikola Tesla Kang. But again, he's just being sinister and holding up objects. It's pretty much what Jonathan Majors has done in Kang in most of the iterations. Oh, look, I'm very sinister and I act with my hands.
Look at this.
Oh, you shouldn't have looked. I got you.
Look at this thing that I've got. Look at it.
I got you.
What do you think of that? What do you think of it?
And that's it.
It's time. This is time.
It's time itself. I'm holding time in the palm of my hands.
Look at this.
Time.
No, this time it's space.
Time.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant.
This is the worst episode we've done in months.
Just rubbish bits. Just rubbish. Remember when I was Michael Fassbender earlier? Oh, that was golden days compared to this bullshit.
Look, we're just going to call it here, ladies and gentlemen. Rebel Moon has loads of sci-fi influences. Just watch the trailer. It's fine. But come here to me. We're not getting much out of this teaser trailer, Michael. We're getting some very severe up-close shots. I think it's really... We get those really up-close shots of the wonderful Tom Hiddleston and his face in abject fear, Michael. And I think we're supposed to believe that things are very spooky, scarily, warily wearing him out because he's being sucked through time at various points. We got another little glimpse of Loki magic. The old-fashioned horns are back, which is nice. It is definitively setting itself apart from all the other Marvel TV series once again, with just a little bit better cinematography, panache and style.
Yeah, and actually getting a season 2. It is the first of them to do it, I believe, isn't it? I think it might be.
I did hear a rumour the other day, Michael, and read something saying She-Hulk is getting season 2.
Yeah, I saw that same rumour. I would be very surprised, to be honest, because there's a writer's strike on.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these shows are probably in jeopardy now as a result of the writer's strike, and it's going to be a very useful excuse for Disney to just go, oh, sorry.
Oh, did you want to make a show there? Ben, speaking of, we saw a trailer for the second trailer or the final trailer or the second teaser for the Marvels.
How dare you just pluck another thing out of the air? It's not on the running order.
Yeah. I'm the Jonathan Majors of podcasting, Ben. Look at this. What have I got here? I've got the trailer for the Marvels. Anyway, Ben, it's rubbish. It's just a recap of where they all came from.
Yeah,
it's just clips of their own shows. Yeah, we already saw it.
It's only happened in the last 3 years, lads.
Yeah. Is what's going on here that Marvel is worried that people aren't going to go see this because they don't know who these characters are? Because if that is their worry, I tell you what's not going to solve that problem. This fucking trailer.
It was a very dull trailer.
Here's the goings on. Sorry.
I just don't care about the characters. Like, I don't have enough Number one, I'm a noted misogynist. Number one.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you preempted me saying it.
Yeah, I just didn't want to hear your voice say it. It really grates on me. Between the audio blackface and the accusations like a cheese grater on my mind, I just can't take it. But come here to me.
So you just have no interest in seeing things about women.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you got me. Oh, you got me.
He looks really sad, ladies.
I'm very sad. I'm sick of being a misogynist. It's very lonely life, Michael.
Book up your act then.
Yeah, I know. It's all on me. On me. Come here to me. It's not that. What? It's too much. They're putting too many characters that haven't been fleshed out properly into a series and making them interact. It was gently hinted at in Miss Marvel Season 1 that she was somehow connected to Captain Marvel, and now it's just like, oh yeah, and now we're just going to smash them together repeatedly. This is what's going to happen.
It wasn't gently hinted at, Ben. Brie Larson was in it.
She was in it very briefly at the end, Michael.
Very briefly at the end, a kind of cameo, if you will.
Yeah, get out of here. And then Monica Rambeau, who was a very enjoyable part of WandaVision, I have to say. We don't know anything about her, and we don't really, I don't know if we're going to care all that much about what she does. Are we?
I don't know. That's the problem, isn't it? I don't know if anyone's excited about this. Also, their other big selling point of Nicholas Fury is in it. Now that's a poison apple.
Well, it's done now. Nicholas Fury used to be a big draw. It's like, oh yeah, let's see Samuel L. Jackson be a badass. Unless you were forced to watch Secret Invasion and go, oh, he's a real damp squib, that Nicholas Fury.
Yes, not only boring, but also useless. Ben.
Yes. And a bad husband. Sorry.
And a bad husband, yeah.
Bad husband.
Didn't even notice his wife was a shapeshifter or whatever. I don't know.
I can't remember. I wasn't paying any attention.
Didn't care. I was too distracted by Jonathan Majors in my house going, Mick, look at this. It's time. Anyway,
Very
Ben.
Good.
Ben, you've seen The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Spoilers. Yeah. They all die.
Spoiler alert, they all die. Michael, this is a real tragedy of the writer's strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike, because this has gone to streaming rapidly as a result of the fact that first of all, it couldn't get a cinema release in Britain for some reason. It was having real trouble getting UK release.
Oh really? Go on.
In cinemas. And the writer's strike meant that they couldn't promote it. And for something like The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is essentially an indie flick on a bit of steroids.
Go on.
They really need the actors to get out there and promote it and kind of give it a push. And unfortunately, they just couldn't do that with this one. So it floundered a bit on its few cinema screen releases in the United States, and now has gone straight to streaming, which is great news for me, but bad news for the film.
Yeah, well, my problem, Ben, is I won't see a film that doesn't have David Dastmalchian in it.
Well, the good news is, Michael, you would have gone to see this. Because it has David Dastmalchian in it.
Oh, that's fabulous.
He's there. Michael, have you ever watched yourself a reasonably priced economic car ad and heard a sultry, deep Irish tone on it and got, Jesus, I'd buy that car for the voice alone? It's only Liam Cunningham narrating it.
Is it?
And you'll find it here as well, Michael. He's in the Last Voyage of the Demeter. He's the captain.
He was in Game of Thrones.
He's in Game of Thrones.
He was.
Do you know who was in Game of Thrones? Bloody Liam Cunningham.
He was indeed. David Dastmalchian wasn't, though. He was in June, though.
So he was in it. Then we had Michael,
What?
come here to me. Come here to me. Do you know who else was in Gaming Thrones?
Gaming Thrones. No, I don't know anyone who's in Gaming Thrones.
Gaming Thrones, the premier video game seating enthusiasts. Do you find yourself at a sore back at the end of the long campaign? Gaming Thrones.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I recovered. I landed. Stuck the landing, Michael. But
You
Aisling
did a bit,
Franciosi. Franciosi?
I don't know who that is.
Another Irishman, suppose. Michael.
Oh, yeah.
She was also in it. She plays Anna. In it. And Michael...
And Ben,
yeah.
what's going on?
Michael, this is set based entirely on the section of Dracula's Voyage from the novel Dracula by Bram Stoker.
Is Dracula on the ship?
Dracula's on the ship, Michael. This is how he gets to
Ben.
Britain.
Spoilers.
I think you're all right, Michael. I think you're all right, given that he's front and centre on the poster.
Oh, is he? Who plays Dracula?
He's a big Nosferatu thing. I don't think anybody plays Dracula. I think it would be incorrect to state that anybody's playing Dracula, Michael, because he is largely just a big spooky man. But it's only, Michael, played by noted spooky creature embodier extraordinaire, not Doug Jones.
I was going to say Doug Jones.
No, but the other guy, Javier Botet.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Javier Botet plays big, gross, ugly, buggly creatures in lots and lots of films. Basically, when they call Doug, and Doug says, "Nah, I'm all right on that one.
I'm doing Star Trek.
I'm doing Star Trek.
Look at the length of my fingers."
But Michael, it doesn't really matter who's playing Dracula because he is largely just an ugly buggly that goes bump in the night.
Ben, is this any use? You know, a spooky thing going on a ship is one of my favourite genres.
So this is the saddest part of all, Michael. Great film. Great little film.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Now, it's not spectacular. It's not going to change cinema, but it's a really well done horror, closed environment, good reimagining of Dracula. Dracula is a very Nosferatu creature more than a man. And over the course of the film, he becomes more man than creature, if that makes sense, the more he feeds.
Yeah, so by the time he gets to London, he's a dapper Gary Oldman.
Yeah, a bit like that. He never really becomes too dapper. But our kind of lead-in character, Michael, is Clemens. And Clemens is a man who's looking to get out of Transylvania because he was originally hired to be a doctor in Transylvania. And unfortunately, Michael, they didn't realise he was a black man. And the second he got to Transylvania, they're like, "Oh, we're not hiring a black man. No, get out of here."
Oh, I see.
So Clemens is played by Corey Hawkins, and he's kind of our follow-along man to understand the comings and goings of the Demeter, or the Demeter, whichever way you prefer to say it. And he ends up being, a very important character in this show. It's really well done. The character acting across the board, Michael, is so solid. David Dalmatian does a great job as the kind of ship's first hand.
Oh, yeah.
And he does that very, very well. Liam Cunningham is a great kind of grizzled old sea captain that just wants to retire with his grandson, Toby.
Oh, yeah.
There is a phenomenal sense of atmosphere that runs throughout this entire thing. It's a wonderful kind of bottle episode / bottle movie because they can't get off the ship, obviously. And it's just done really, really, really well. They play with the night and day thing very well. So they search the ship all day when they realise what's happening. Anna plays what is essentially supposed to be Dracula's food source on the voyage.
Oh, he brought her with her as a snack.
Yeah, and then it all goes wrong. And she is found by the crew, treated as a stowaway, and then because Dracula can't snack, he decides to eat everybody on the ship.
Oh no, they shouldn't have interfered with Dracula's snack. That was the original name for
Dracula's snack.
They shouldn't have interfered with Dracula's snack.
They shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it. No. But
Leave
come here to me. It's a real tragedy. There's some spoilers now from here on out. They do a phenomenal job of Dracula himself. He's a genuinely terrifying entity. He is faced off against so well by the crew in different forms. There's some serious gore in this for the kills, Michael.
Oh, exciting.
And it's a great mix of CGI and practical effects. Whenever the kills get up close and personal, they switch immediately to practical effects. So it's all the more gruesome and kind of creepy and weird. And then as he's kind of skulking around the ship and doing all the other things, he's very CGI. There's some absolute tragedy in this, Michael. So there's two things. There's one thing that puts me off the film, and this is a major spoiler. There is a pooch on the ship.
Oh, no.
And the pooch doesn't make it.
No.
And Michael...
Bad film. Very bad film.
Bad film. And the other major shock for me, Michael, was that Toby, the young grandson, doesn't make it. He gets...
No, Ben. Have you never... It's the last voyage of the Demeter. Not like things go a bit sour on the Demeter.
So I think one of the things this does really, really well, Michael, is the Dracula story is very big. And it would be a bit of a waste to try and shove it all into one film, a la Francis Ford Coppola or anything like that. You don't really get a sense of the menace he represents and the terror of the coming of Dracula. It's always just like, oh, this lad's going to get in a ship and he's going to get on land. He's going to cause all kinds of problems. He is far better served in this one film showing what he can do. And they really thought they were getting a sequel, Michael, because Clemens is a survivor. Clemens is the only survivor of the Demeter.
Oh,
and
the second last voyage of the Demeter.
Exactly. He begins to hunt in England, Dracula, but we never get to see that. We only get to see him kind of recognize Dracula and then set off on the chase. They really thought they were going to get a sequel with this, Michael, and I really wish they had. I found myself finishing this film going, I would have liked that. I would have liked the rest of that. That would have been good. Yeah.
Well, the only way, Ben, that we'll ever get a sequel to this is if the director inexplicably becomes a massive international movie director, and can therefore direct any old shite that he wants.
A Star Wars sequel that isn't a Star Wars sequel, Michael?
That's what I was suggesting.
Very good. Very good. Michael, the one thing that The Last Voyage of the Demeter does very well...
What?
Is that it takes the source material, a single source material...
Dracula.
And it just milks it dry, Michael. It really runs with it.
Oh, yeah.
Bleeds it dry. Now, that would have been a much better Dracula analogy. And it bleeds it dry in a positive way, though. It really stays faithful to it, and it's all the better for it, Michael. I can't imagine what you'd do if you took, 86 different influences and tried to mash them into a single film.
Oh, brilliant, though, Ben, because then you'd have Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon. Yes. Rebel Moon, Michael, is the fever dream of one Snyder. We are getting a two-parter, Michael. Part one is Rebel Moon, Child of Fire, starring Sophia Boutella and every other significant actor in Hollywood that you know.
Yeah, name one.
Ed Skrein.
He's there.
He's there. He's having a great Digimon Hansu.
He's also there.
Anthony Hopkins.
Definitely there.
Definitely there. Michael, this is a bizarre creation, and the cheek of this, Michael. Not just today, I was reading up about this because we do a pop culture podcast where we look at the topic of the week.
Yeah.
And Michael, what did I discover?
That the baddie is Irish?
Zack Snyder is already demanding a director's cut.
No, he isn't, Ben.
He is.
I'm not having
I have the statement here.
Well, okay, I would like to hear that statement, please.
So, not only has he demanded the director's cut, he's been given it. Netflix is releasing one version to begin with, and they will release the director's cut after that.
Benjamin, that's nonsense.
Now, come here to me. Listen to his statement. I'm going to read the statement.
You've been had here.
I'm going to read the statement to you. This is from The Hollywood Reporter, Michael.
Hey, the old HR.
The old HR. The only HR that exists for this podcast, and they still won't get back to me about you. But anyway, the director's cut is close to an hour of extra content. So I think it's a legitimate extended universe edition. You really get to see a lot. This is Zack Snyder. It's just more painted in all the way. Now, my answer to that, Michael, first of all, is if it's not painted in all the way, don't fucking release it.
Yeah, give over to Zack Snyder, please.
Fuck's sake. The director's cut is a settle-in deep dive, which I have notoriously done throughout my career. So he's aware, the fucker. He knows.
He knows what he's doing.
I don't know how I got into this director's cut thing, but what I will say is that for me, the director's cut has always been something I had to fight for in the past, and nobody wanted it. He's so aware, Michael.
Oh, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing, Ben.
It was this bastard child I was always trying to put together because they felt like there was a deeper version. And with Netflix, we shot scenes just for the director's cut, so that sounds shit. So in that way, it's really a revelation because it gives that second kick at the can for big fans, like a real discovery that they would not otherwise get. I'm really excited about it.
Hate it. Hate every minute of it.
Michael, what
Ben,
a load of bollocks. You can't.
absolutely hate it.
He doesn't have any
absolutely.
big fans of Rebel Moon yet.
Ben, hate it. I hate every minute of it. I hate the fact that they're planning the director's cut while they're making it.
You
Just
can't
fucking make
do
the thing.
that.
Just make the bastard thing. So, Ben, what we're going to do is let all of our ire out by having a scan through this absolute melange of a trailer.
Spice Melange.
The spice melange, Ben. The spice, as they say, must flow. But what we're going to do is we're going to stop it, and we're going to have a look at it, and we're going to see what influences we can spot from the last 30 years of sci-fi, cinema, and TV.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. We've never done this before.
No, this is new. This
I
is new.
sure
So-
hope my internet holds up.
Well, look, Benjamin, I'm going to press play on the trailer, and we're going to see the new trailer for Rebel Moon from the Netflix boys, Ben. And I tell you what, it opens with the cliche of all cliches.
Yes, go on.
There's a bloody person in a wheat field. There's
Ah,
a person in a wheat field touching wheat.
Ridley Scott's Gladiator in the year 2000.
It's pure. Imagine if Ridley Scott's Gladiator was a robot.
Was a robot. Imagine if Interstellar was a sci-fi... Oh, no, wait, it is.
Oh, yeah. Imagine if Thanos was a... No, also it is.
Also, it is. It's also sci-fi.
It's gas. I mean, someone who has left a life of war and is now showing us that by hanging about in wheat fields and running their hand along the tops of the ripe wheat. It's the cliche of all cliches.
I had no idea you had to go to a wheat field after unenlisting from the army.
Yeah, after you finish a war, wheat field. That's what has to happen.
That's what you're getting.
Yeah. So, Ben, in this, the robot, though, has the voice of Anthony Hopkins.
Oh, yeah. Anthony Hopkins from Wales.
That is Anthony Hopkins, Ben. He's in that field of wheat.
War comes to every planet. To every planet, you see. It has to come for you. It has to come for me. Sorry, I've unintentionally done Dr. Seuss does Anthony Hopkins. Sorry.
A little bit, Ben. A little bit.
Sorry.
He's Jimmy, Ben. He's the last of the race of mechanical knights.
Where the fuck did you find this?
He's Jimmy. He's Jimmy the mechanical knight. Is Anthony Hopkins in a wheat field. He's the last mechanical robot man who's retired from war and has gone to a wheat field.
Oh, God.
Brilliant stuff. Speaking of gods, though, Ben, the very next shot is someone in a wheat field with a massive horned helmet on, looking at a sunset, and Anthony Hopkins' booming voice over it. It looks every inch of any of the Thor films.
It's just the Asgardians from Marvel, is it?
It's Asgardians, yeah.
They've just lifted the Asgardians from Marvel. I see.
Yeah. But this time they're robots.
Michael, share your screen with me so I can see what you're looking at.
Oh, is that what you want to do? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the way you do podcasts? I don't know how to do podcasts.
Michael, I
Ben. This is
can't
literally
see
my
you
first
react
day.
to the trailer and give you my reaction to you reacting. That's shite.
I thought you'd already seen it, Ben.
Right, here's the next scene. What else we got here? Oh,
We've
yeah.
got-
Look at that scarecrow with a horned helmet.
Yeah. Now,
Oh, there's a
then
little girl.
There's little girls. There's going to be little girls non-stop in this.
I can see the weight of destiny in her eyes, though, Michael. Oh, look at that big fuck-off megaship.
Okay, so big fuck-off megaships coming up to a planet, Ben. And they seem to be... Right. here's the thing about what we're doing here. We're going to talk about all of these things. And some of the things the listeners are going to know because it's going to be right in their wheelhouses. And some of them they might not know. But we don't know what the listeners know and don't know. So we're going to assume that you don't know anything.
Good.
But this shot, straight out of any of your sci-fi epics.
Yeah. June.
First of all, June. Ben, in June, humans are still pretty much humans. And they're on massive ships.
Absolutely.
Absolutely enormous ships. But the other sci-fi franchise that has taken a lot of influence from June is Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, so the huge mega ships of Warhammer 40,000 are right there. The only other thing that jumps out to me from this, Michael, Buddy Jodorowsky. Buddy, the mega structures of Mobius and his... So, Jodorowsky is a famous sci-fi auteur, Michael. He wrote... For people that don't know, he wrote a band dessinée, a European comic called The Incal, which is widely regarded as one of the most seminal works of sci-fi in existence.
Absolutely full of semen.
And he worked with a man called Mobius, and Mobius is famous for drawing giant megastructures. That's what he did. This is a staple of French bande dessinée, especially in the sci-fi realm. And a lot of those, another example would be Valerian. Valerian has megastructures as well, both of which went on to influence none other than War of the Stars, Star Wars.
Star Wars. Ben, there seems to be some sort of massive impact on this planet, like they're performing a Warhammer 40,000 Exterminatus.
Yes, Michael, as Jimmy, the last of the space robots, the war robots, told us, war comes to every planet, you see. It comes to every planet.
And here they are. And they're bringing war. Ben, are you going to tell us what an Exterminatus is?
Exterminatus, Michael, is an event where the agents of the Imperium, or the forces of the Imperium of Man, have discovered a large amount of chaos on a planet, or a small amount of chaos on a planet. It really depends on what kind of mood they're in.
Yeah.
And basically they'll call in the Space Marines, whatever chapter is nearby, probably one of the very extreme ones like the Grey Knights, Michael.
Go on.
And they'll get them in, and the Grey Knights will come in and be like, oh, that sounds an awful lot like heresy. Right? Shut it down. And they'll roll their hands, and then they'll just absolutely decimate the planet.
Yeah, from orbit with spaceships. Seems to be what's going on here.
Yep, there's an Exterminatus event happening from Warhammer 40k.
Yeah. Now, Ben, the next shot, we're just straight back to Star Wars.
We are.
We're straight back to, it looks like a scene from 2007's The Jedi are back. The Force Awakens.
The lads are back.
The Jedis are back.
Jedis are back. So we see Digimon Hansu there, Michael, in kind of big rounded armour, and all I can think when I see that is Mandalorians.
Yeah, he's got shoulder pads on. He's got a real pauldrons.
Yeah, he's got pauldrons. He's got a real touch of the Mandalorians. Now, look, we're not saying Zack Snyder stole directly from Mandalorians. Knights have worn pauldrons, and that kind of armour is very, very common. However, I'm guessing that because the rest of it is stolen from that, it probably is.
Yeah. Again, Ben, there's a touch of the Warhammers about this as well.
Yeah, there's a big Space Marine armour vibe to the rounded quality of the armour and that kind of thing, you know.
There's the shoulder pauldrons, the filigree, as they say.
Look at that filigree, Michael.
Look at the filigree and the inlay. So this is a very common theme in kind of like far future sci-fi of everything's baroque, but in space.
Everything is full of money in space.
Yeah, so these are rich people in space by the looks of things.
Otherwise known as Dune.
We're straight back to June, aren't we?
We're straight back to June, Michael. The colour grade here is lifted directly from Denis Villeneuve's June.
Do you think so? I get a big bang of the start of The Force Awakens from this. This looks like the scene on the beach where Finn fights the stormtrooper with the shock baton. Yeah.
That's true. It does have that vibe.
But then, straight back into wheat.
Oh, look at
Everyone's looking at wheat.
Somebody's fondling weed, Michael. Someone needs to talk to that weed's parents. Look after it. Look after the wheat. Oh, look at it blowing it away.
Wheat. Yeah. And then back to the Exterminatus. Yeah.
Exterminatus event. Look, there's the Kitsch funeral.
This is some mad shit.
There's a griffin.
So what they said was, do you think people are going to be confused enough about whether this is sci-fi or fantasy? And Zack Snyder said, yes, but I'm only going to explain it in the director's cut.
And that's how we got them to sign off on it, ladies and gentlemen. What we have in this particular shot is what looks to be James Franco's Hispanic cousin, Jaime Franco. And they've gone to Gandalf's funeral.
One of the best trailer reaction jokes I've ever heard.
And now, Michael, from there, this reminds me of Saga. I spoke about this a little bit last week. Saga is a comic from 2011, Michael. And it's a space opera, but it really stretches the concept of a space opera because it's just plain weird.
There's all sorts of mad shit going on in Saga. They go to like soap opera planet and wrestling planet and everyone's television's planet.
Weird magic planet. Bio magic planet. Sex planet.
Sex planet. Stay off it.
And then, Michael, it goes to Vietnam in the 1970s, right after the US forces have gone through it.
Yeah, it's incredibly Vietnam. And I think, so we've got an Asian lady, and her child is being killed by the looks of things. It could just be a random child, but...
no, it's probably attached to that person in some way.
It might be. You never know, though. She might have been like the defender of that village. But wasn't this village in The Mandalorian?
This village was in The Mandalorian. This shot looks to be directly lifted from Zack Snyder's own work in Watchmen.
Yes.
When we saw the comedian burning down villages in Vietnam.
Yeah. But, I mean, I would swear that this exact set was where the Mandalorian fought the Walkers, the Imperial Walkers.
Yeah, in like episode 3 of the season 1.
4 of season.
Yeah.
Straight out of it.
So we've got a little bit of that.
So Sophia Boutella-Ben seems to be the chosen one character.
Yes, she's definitely the what is it? The
Scar Giver.
The Scar Giver, or I can't remember.
Princess of Destiny, is that what they say?
She's a child of fire, apparently.
Yeah.
Child of fire.
So all of this mythic child of fire, the child of prophecy, the one destined to kill Ed Skrein, that is all straight up out of Frank Herbert's classic Dune.
Yeah.
Tell the listeners, Ben.
So Dune is possibly the greatest work of eco-science fiction in existence. It's by Frank Herbert, and it came out in the 60s, Michael?
Yeah.
60s.
67.
And it's set in the wonderful, wonderful world of the spice melange. So humans have taken to the stars, Michael, and they navigate the stars in search of spice.
Yeah, Ben, I meant more tell the listeners about the prophecy aspects of Dune.
Oh, sorry. So in the world of Dune, the original novels, Paul Atreides is destined to become what's known as his name escapes me.
Quidditch Haderach.
The Quidditch Haderach. Not to be confused with the Quidditch played in Harry Potter. There's actually no Harry Potter influences from what we can tell here other than the chosen one trope. But he is to be the deliverer from off-world of the Fremen. The Fremen are the native species on the planet of Arrakis. And he is to be
don't know if they're native, Ben. They're humans.
Okay, well, they are that gets very messy in geopolitics and colonization. But anyway, there is one group of people who live a more in balance lifestyle with the natural environment. They claim to be the natives of the planet, and then there are the rich families of basically the Imperium of Man. They have the God Emperor, not the God Emperor, but they have an Emperor.
He's the God Emperor.
He's the God Emperor, and the various houses work for him. The Atreides are sent to look after Arrakis and take over the mining operation. Naturally, there's so much money in that the ousted family there, the Sarkonnen family...
Harkonnens.
The Harkonnens, damn it.
Ben, I'm going to cut across you because I clearly have read Dune more recently than you.
Yes, ouch. Painful, but correct.
But that's not what I mean. What I mean is, in Dune, there is no destiny. There is no fate. These prophecies in Dune are very much human constructs, which is one of the fascinating things about Dune. So there's a sect called the Bene Gesserit or Gesserit.
Yeah.
And they have actually, it turns out, they have seeded this prophecy.
It's all lies.
Generation after generation after generation of Fremen on the planet Arrakis, so that one day a little boy could be born and they could suggest, this is the fella from all his prophecies.
That's him.
And then Paul's like, I am. And his mum is like, I told you were. But really, she knew. She knew that was the plan the whole time.
It's all filthy lies.
What I wonder, Ben, is, like you, has Zack Snyder missed that point? And is this going to be real prophecy and destiny? Or is it just going to be this?
Zack
Go
Snyder.
on.
Fuck you. You just compared me to Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder is so cool, Ben. He's much cooler than either of us.
That's true.
Is the twist of this going to be exactly the same twist? Or is it actually going to be Princess of Destiny and whatever?
I think it's going to be Princess of Destiny. I don't think...
whatever.
I don't think... Zack Snyder loves a broad stroke and a big swing. I don't think he cares much about...
Oh, we actually seeded this prophecy ourselves millennia ago.
This is actually an important look at how humans create their own value and how that doesn't necessarily mean you should throw your life in behind a belief system.
Oh no, watch this girl do a backflip. That's what Zack Snyder would say.
So there's... okay, so now we're over a cornfield again. Oh, she's got a hammer now. It's like a Celtic village, a Viking village. This is where Sofia Boutella has possibly been hiding out, Michael?
Yeah, so it looks like from the trailer that Sofia Boutella was in the Imperial Army.
Yes.
And she did a big escape by becoming a muscly blacksmith.
Yes, and she did a flee.
And she fled away because she gave someone a scar.
And it looks like the Extremis event is coming from planet to planet, a la Chronicles of Riddick.
Yes. Big hints of Chronicles of Riddick in here. This is the other thing where the armour very much throws back to.
Yeah. So in the world of Riddick, the necromongers are travelling through the stars spreading death. That's what they do. And there's a little bit of this. What sets this apart, I suppose, from Warhammer 40k, the group that's doing that in Warhammer 40k is more the Tyranids, I think. But in this, if we were looking for a human analog, it would have to be Riddick, because it looks to be an army that is actively eradicating different planets.
Well, I don't know. We don't get much of a sense of why the Imperium is bad, other than...
They look a bit like Nazis.
Other than look at them. They're doing a big First Order. They're doing a big Warhammer 40k Imperium of Man. They're doing an... Just go and stand up on a planet surrounded by stormtroopers and just look evil. Give us your best Khaleesi in season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Michael, I can't keep up with all the different regal-looking figureheads in this trailer, though. Like, I don't know how many bloody political systems are we going to see. Oh, look, there she is now as a commissar in the 40k world.
Right. So, Ben, who's explaining commissars? Me
you
or
are.
You? Okay.
You're the 40k man.
Ben, does she have a harp on her sleeve? Is this actually a 1916 thing?
Oh, can you
no,
imagine?
It's not.
It's not.
It's just the way
it's
the
not.
harp
That's
is
sad.
played. So, Ben, these look every inch of the Warhammer 40,000 Astra Militarum.
Yeah.
So in Warhammer 40,000, the Imperium of Man is a big smooch with Ed Skrein of all people. No one should ever kiss Ed Skrein.
Not Ed Skrein. Those are two
always
different men,
turns
Michael. You've made a mistake.
I can't tell men apart, Ben.
You've confused Ed Skrein for the other generic white man with tight cheekbones.
Don't you call Ed Skrein generic. He's always a baddie.
Keep going.
So, in Warhammer, Ben, the Empire of Man is a galaxy-spanning, evil, fascist, xenophobic, human superiority, the terror.
Yes.
The Imperium of Man are the baddies in 40k, Ben.
Yes.
And the look of these soldiers is so incredibly... There's a specific faction of Imperial Guard called the Cadians. Not the Canadians.
The Cadians.
Because they're generally good eggs. But the Cadians. And the Cadians are a combination of the mobile infantry from Starship Troopers and the US Marine Corps from Aliens, mixed with a good old bit of fascist imagery. And they have political officers based on a kind of imagined exaggeration of Russian political commissars from World War II and onwards.
Yeah.
And every bit of imagery from this part of this trailer, especially this bit here where Sofia Boutella has the Cadian flag and she's mounted a ship that she's taken down. This looks every inch, every bit of Warhammer 40k propaganda you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Absolutely spot on the money.
Yeah.
They're even firing lasers back and forth.
Oh, it's crazy.
But then, Ben,
yeah.
if you thought, oh, so this is just some sort of military laser-based kind of sci-fi. No, here comes a woman who's half a spider.
So this is lifted directly from Saga. I don't know how far you got into Saga, Michael. Do you? Have you seen this character?
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. So in the world of Saga, bounty hunters are bog standard.
Everyone's bounty hunters.
Everyone is bounty hunters. That's really, really important. And they're given bizarre titles, not unlike the Keith Stanfield that we've been speaking about a little bit. But we get a few of them. So one is called the Will, and he is the kind of main character that we see within bounty hunting. We follow his story within the Saga universe. And one of the primary things that's happening there is that he is mourning the loss of his great love. And his great love is a female bounty hunter, or a female presenting bounty hunter, might be a little bit better. And her name is...
The Way.
It could be. It doesn't matter what it is. But she's a giant, half woman, half spider.
Where there's a will, there's a The Way.
That
was the joke I was doing. That was a great joke.
I hate you.
Benjamin, this is noted Zack Snyder collaborator Jenna Malone.
Is it?
It is indeed. And she, believe it or not, Benjamin, is one of the characters that Sofia Boutella is going to be recruiting for her video game-esque role-playing game party that she's going to assemble to take down the evil empire.
What?
Oh yeah, that's what's going on here.
That's a bad guy.
Yeah, no, it's not, Ben. That's Harmada, a lethal spider warrior.
Oh, I
recruited
see.
by Sofia Boutella.
I see.
Yeah. So she's gathering a squad, Ben.
Oh, very good. That'll be fun over 2 movies, won't it?
This will be so much fun. This is Mass Effect. This is, you're the space captain. Go and get a bunch of weirdos and do a big team up and kill the baddies.
Which, Michael, of the ragtag crew of people she assembles is going to betray them at the end of the first movie, which leaves us on a cliffhanger for the second movie?
Probably either the Spider Lady, or this Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, this Ahsoka Tano. Yeah, so Vietnam Survivor is back, and boy oh boy, is she annoyed. She has lightsabers. I mean, light katanas. I mean, solar blades. I don't know what you call them.
Ben, this is Bae Doona, a Korean actress. Guess what her character's name is. Ben, I want you to just look at this character and think, what's the most on-the-nose name you could possibly give this character?
Soul Render?
Oh, not far off. Benjamin, this is the character, the cyborg assassin Nemesis.
Oh, get fucked. It's just Karen Gillan's character from the Marvel Universe.
It's very great and exciting. Look, she's got 2 lightsabers, 2 red lightsabers.
These are different, though, because they're flat and sharp. Oh, there's the Stalk. That's who the character was from the Saga. Oh, they fight, Michael. The Stalk and Nemesis.
I think exactly. I think one of them might have been sent to recruit the other.
And they have a big old scrap. There's Ed Skrein as a Nazi.
Yeah. And there's the very, very brief showing of Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, there's Charlie Hunnam as Annie Rebel from a Star Wars film in a cantina.
Yeah, he's in a bloody cantina. You might as well call him Han Andor.
Yeah, they'll use the cantina music. It'll be dun 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 dun, dun, and then just so they don't get sued, they'll drop it. Dun 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 dun. They'll just keep it out that way. It'll be good.
Very good.
Oh, look, there's more Vietnam stuff. Digimon Hansu's very annoyed. There's Oscar Isaac in June.
It is Oscar Isaac in June.
Archduke Atreides.
So this is
Atreides.
an Irishman.
Is it?
This is Francis Fee.
Who's that?
Fra Fee, he goes by.
Yeah, okay. Frankie Fees.
Yeah, and he's out of Northern Ireland.
Oh, yeah.
You would be most familiar with him as playing the leader of the tracksuit mafia in Hawkeye.
Oh, don't I know him well, Michael?
Don't you only know him very well?
Don't I know him well? He sold me my first ever gaming chair at Gaming Thrones.
Did he?
He did. Oh, look, there he is.
All the way.
So he's only lifted from the Roman Empire, Michael. We got a little laurel wreath there. Okay.
Again, very Warhammer 2.
Hang on a minute. Go back there, Michael. Go back there. There was an elderly gentleman with a mustache and a thing who is basically Han Solo if Han Solo had gotten into drinking a bit more than fighting for the rebels. Go back there.
If Han Solo was from Kerry, you're saying?
If Han Solo was from Kerry. I'd help you rebel, but have a pint to finish.
I have a point to finish, man.
Look at that man.
So, for some reason, they said to themselves, Jesus, we're halfway through this trailer now, and we haven't had enough references. Let's bang a bit of Firefly in there.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly who that is.
Can we get some Deep South characters, but in space?
That's Badger from Firefly, but from the Deep South.
Yeah, exactly. It's bonkers, Ben. Because then we go back to the... There's the Griffin. So the planet of the Griffins, Ben.
Oh, there's Mortal Kombat.
Okay, so one of the characters at least appears to be one of the characters that she's going to recruit for her flippin' team up.
Yeah.
Seems to be some sort of former or current gladiator or warrior or something like that. And there's the implication that there's some sort of gladiatorial combat going on.
Yes.
Against large four-armed beasts. Ben, have you ever seen John Carter of Mars?
Yes, I have, yeah.
That's what that is.
That's exactly what that is, Michael.
They've just gone straight to John Carter of Mars and gone... So in John Carter of Mars, Ben, John Carter is a normal fella. And he accidentally goes to Mars. That's as well as I can sum it up for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got it pretty spot on there, in fairness.
And then on Mars, there's big, huge people, and they've got loads of arms.
Okay.
And he has to fight them.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, there you go. And Zack Snyder said that and said, oh, yeah, put that in my movie.
Yeah, put it in. Put it in. Put it in after the Firefly scenes.
Very good.
Just do the John Carter of Mars
By which
scenes
I mean
after
not
the Fireflies.
very good.
Ben, they're on a water planet.
There's Blade Runner. There's any Star Wars film. There's the Fremen.
The Fremen are in it, Ben.
Oh, yeah. Keep going
so
there.
The Fremen in June, Ben, they wear... What we're getting at here is they wear still suits.
Still suits, Michael, that wick any bit of moisture off them and recycle it instantly.
Yes, but this looks like that done on a student film budget.
Or someone who read too much 2000 AD, or simply picked up the prop from behind the scenes of Mad Max Fury Road for, what's his name? It's the big fella.
Immortan Joe.
Immortan Joe, yeah, they just got his face rig. There's a bit of Native American cultural appropriation, Michael.
Okay.
And a griffin.
So we haven't spoken about this character.
Yeah.
So this character is the actor Stas Nair, Ben.
Oh, that's a good name. Is that his name in the thing, or is that his actual name?
No, that's his actual name.
Oh, that's good.
Name.
So they just put him in like that then?
And he's playing the character Turok, Vampus Dinosaur. No, he's not. He's playing the character Tarak.
Oh.
And Benjamin, here's the description of this character. A former nobleman turned blacksmith.
Oh.
With the this is real. With the ability to bond with animals of nature and rally them in combat.
That's a druid.
Yeah, he's a kind of a druid-esque character. So there's all sorts of things going on here. First of all, the Griffins are straight out of Harry Potter, which is funny because you said there's no Harry Potter influence.
I was
but
wrong.
There you go. But the wild man of the mountains who bonds with the native fauna, that's been going on since Tarzan.
It also shouldn't be any kind of Native American looking gentleman, stylized or otherwise.
Well, if it's respectful, Ben. What about if it was played by a Native... What about if it was played by a Native American actor based on Native American culture?
Then I guess it'd be fine, but I don't. Again, that requires an awful lot of subtlety and nuance, Michael, and how it's put across.
What are you seeing Native American in this? Just by way of asking.
Go ahead. Go back.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, play it through there.
Yeah.
All right, we've
Now,
got
the
this.
listeners can't see this. Ben.
Okay. We've got the running with the beasts trope.
Yeah.
From any kind of Native American representation. We've got the shirtless native trope, although he's on a very hot planet, so it could be that. We've got the bonding with the animal, not mid-leap, because we don't get a lot of griffins in Native American folklore. But still,
No.
I just get distinct.
But how's that different from Tarzan? How's that different from literally this exact scene in the film Avatar?
Oh, that's
where
true.
Jake Sully bonds with the pterodactyl things.
Well, Avatar is just dances with wolves, so there is some pretty harmful Native American representation in that. Avatar is dances with wolves in space. Dances with cosmic wolves.
So is this,
Yeah,
just in case
it's
there
true.
weren't enough references.
Just in case we didn't get enough Avatar in there. Oh yeah, there's a weird looking alien. Good.
Yeah. Now, Ben, this weird looking alien,
Yeah.
is it... I was just going to say something absolutely atrocious there. I'm not going to. But what's going on with him? It's the first alien we've seen.
Just the
up to
first
this
proper
point.
alien we've seen. It's all been humans so far.
Yeah. It seemed like a universe of humans. But then as it turns out, no, it's also aliens.
We did get the spider lady.
Oh, the spider lady. I forgot about her.
We got her
already.
mad at the spider lady.
Even though she's played by my favourite actor and yours, Jenna Malone.
Jenna Malone.
Noted
Not
Zack
spider.
Snyder. No, not actually a spider, just a Zack Snyder collaborator. So, Ben, that's pretty much it then. It just gets into coming soon on Netflix. Which of that motley crew of characters that she's going to assemble are you most excited by? That sounds like none of them.
The flag that Sophia Botella lifts above the ship. Or Gandalf in the
flag.
kitsch funeral.
Yeah, great. This is fabulous. I can't wait to see this. This is just an absolutely insane melange of things. And I personally cannot wait.
Michael, do you think we'll get to see it in cinemas?
I hope not.
But it seems like such a spectacle.
Oh, yeah, hold on. Yeah, limited theatrical release. They say limited theatrical release.
They'll do one
around
weekend,
Christmas.
and then... Yeah, okay.
Well, that's my Christmas sorted, Ben.
Yes, we'll both skip down to the cinema together.
Yeah, and for any... Just a quick thing, Ben. Quick thing before we wrap up. June was 1965. So, if anyone's atting me that I said 66 or 67, I hope you now are living in regret that you didn't wait till the end of the episode to at me.
Where he retracted before you could even type. You furious little keyboard warriors. Speaking of being furious little keyboard warriors, if you'd like to complain to us directly, you can find us in a number of different places. You can find us on the interwebs at www.genrebeag.com, SEOMORABEAG.com.
It means tiny room, but in Irish.
We also have a tidy little Acast website, Sure Look, Sure Listen podcast. Just look it up there and find the Acast website. You can do it there too.
Look it up. www.podcast.acast.sherlockshirepodcast.
Yeah, we're on Instagram at Sure Look, Sure Listen podcast.
We are ever growing, Ben. Such a reach.
Ever growing, such reach, 103k reach for a 760 followed account. Look at us. Join the reach. Join the reach. You can find fun little bits. We're much funnier in 1 minute snippets. So go and give us a follow over there. You can also find us on TikTok at Sure Look, Sure Listen if you're a Gen Zer looking for more of a podcast fix.
Are you though?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you really want to berate us and call out my misogyny and mixed racism, you can get up on the Discord and do it directly.
I'm not a racist, actually, Ben. I have loads of friends of colour.
Yeah, there we go. That's it. Good man. Right, that's it from us, ladies and gentlemen. We've no idea what we're doing next week. We're going to have to go and take a good bit of cough medicine now to bring our fevers down from this bizarre smorgasbord of sci-fi.
What an absolute